Hey there everyone, IdrA here once again with another game of Starcraft 2. This will be a Zerg vs Terran here on Typhon Peaks, featuring the blue Zerg spawning here on the top right. His name is EGIdrA. IdrA's real name is Greg Fields. He is an American pro gamer who is widely regarded as one of the best foreign players in all of Starcraft. Foreign, of course, meaning outside of Korea in this context. His opponent for this game will be the red Terran spawning in the bottom left. He is deadama or deadama, not really sure, but I'll figure out what to call him as the game goes on. He is ranked 2nd in the European Masters League Division Century Gamma with a record of 299 wins along with 283 losses, which equates to a 51.4% win rate for our Terran player. We'll see how these players do today as they are spawning on Typhon Peaks, one of the largest maps in the Blizzard map pool. A little bit about this map. Your main base is quite a bit larger than it might be on other maps, as there's a bunch of dark area all the way over here and also on this side. So if you are playing against a player on this map who might be cheesing you, you have to watch out for it, because there's a lot of area in your base that you just won't be able to see off the bat, and that can be exploited with some proxy buildings and the such. So just always be on the lookout for that if you are going to be playing a game on this map. At any rate, these players won't probably be cheesing, as IdrA is definitely not known for ever committing any sort of sin that would be cheesing. It does actually look like IdrA is saving up some resources. I assume he's probably going to be getting up a hatchery, as he is diverting 2 drones right here, and yes, they will be leaving. I'm guessing that one will put up the hatchery and the other one will probably go scout, but at any rate, IdrA is always known for his macro build, so he is going to be getting that hatchery up right there. He will just get that underway, so he will be getting his first building as a hatchery. Very macro-oriented build from IdrA, staying true to his colors that he has established throughout his time in the StarCraft community. Also, I believe the last video I casted was a little bit too loud, so I actually turned the volume down a little bit. Hopefully it won't be quite as loud this time, but always let me know if there are any things in the way of issues that you guys want to let me know. Do not hesitate, because I always love to hear the feedback, and I try to make any changes necessary or accommodate any requests from the viewers. And also, if you do end up enjoying this video or any of my other videos, please take the time to click that subscribe button. It is always just great verification that what I'm doing is reaching people out there and is entertaining people, and I would love nothing more than to get that little ping that tells me that I've gotten a subscriber. So please do that. I would love you forever, and it would mean the world to me. At any rate, we do see these players just continuing to set up their bases here in the early game. It looks like our Terran player will be going with that Destiny Cloudfist, as this drone scout super sad that it didn't get here in time. The wall up was completed, and there was even a Marine to tell that drone that he was not welcome. So that drone did indeed get killed. This barracks was forced to lift off and actually move a little bit to the sides for the reactor. This is a little fun fact, or a little quirk about these 4 players spawning diagonally symmetrical maps, is that depending on where the Terran player spawns, he might be able to get 1, 2, or no add-ons on a barracks that might be here. Because you see, in the bottom left position, he actually had to lift it off and move to the side. If, say, he had spawned up here, then that barracks would have been able to get an add-on very easily, wouldn't have had to move at all, and I believe it's the same here as well. But up here, it'd be even trickier to get that add-on. So it just depends on where the Terran player spawns. It's kind of luck of the draw. It's a little bit different, but there's really nothing that Blizzard can do about that, as IdrA will be losing an Overlord. You see, he was actually prepared for that. Isn't supply blocked even, so IdrA is always prepared for everything that might happen, knowing that his overlords are completely defenseless, as they are just wandering around the map. They're too slow to evade attacks, and they're too, well, they just don't have an attack to fight back. So if they do get discovered, they'll probably die. So as a Zerg player, you always want to have a few extra overlords, as this one Zergling is going for some attacks of opportunity, going to be pecking away at this factory that's actually churning out Hellions. And this Zergling, even though he did get roasted away very quickly, got valuable scouting information and was able to phone back home and tell the Overmind Hellions are indeed coming out of our Terran player's base, who's actually only producing 1 out of that reactor tech lab now. He does have 2 Hellions moving across the field, going to be roasting away a Zergling at the watchtower, it seems. There we go, that Zergling loses its life too, so we'll see if these Hellions are able to do any sort of damage, but IdrA has gotten a spine crawler here, protecting his natural and also the ramp up to his main, and getting a second one as well on the way. So these Hellions won't be as effective as they would have otherwise been if he had been able to hide their existence for a little bit longer. But between the two of those Hellions, they do already have 3 kills, so they are making some progress in the way of paying for themselves. We'll see if they can do a little bit more, as they're going to be coming up against a Queen right now and a burrowing Spinecrawler, but they will actually be able to run right by if they want to go up this ramp, roasting away 1 Zergling that was unlucky and 2 more as well. So these Hellions are being pretty cost effective at the moment. He should want to get a few more just to make sure that the investment was indeed worth it. But of course you don't want to throw away the Hellions to a sort of Spinecrawler or Queen, because of course those can both kill off the Hellions, and the Terran player will be super sad about losing his harassing units before they could do too much. But back at the Terran player's base, he has transitioned into putting this tech lab on the factory, so he will be churning out siege tanks along with getting that siege tech mode research. He's also getting stim pack for his barracks units as well on the same time. Meanwhile, the Zerg player is going to be getting a Baneling nest, so he will have access to Banelings if he wants to do a bust anytime soon, or if he just wants to have them to defend against later attacks in this game. We'll see how that plays out for IdrA. Where is his Baneling nest? Show me a Baneling nest. No, these are both Evo chambers. No, there's the Baneling nest. I was totally confused there for a second. The Evo chamber and the Baneling nest both spawning at the same time. They will be best friends for life. His IdrA is not actually using that Baneling chamber yet, but he is going to be getting a Spire on the way now, so he will have access to mutas. We might see some harass happening from our what? Why do I keep calling IdrA a Protoss player? I'm really not sure. We still have these Hellions getting a couple more kills, as those Zerglings were a little bit overzealous. That Zergling is losing its life as well, so these Hellions are being very pesty in terms of frying away Zerglings, getting a bunch of kills. Let's see how many they have between them now. That one has 5, that one has 8, and this one has only 1. So between them they actually have 14 kills, so they have paid for themselves quite a bit. That will be good for our Terran player in the long run. And we will shortly see Mutalisks on the way for IdrA, however, so he might be returning that harassment favor right back at deadama here in about a few minutes. Meanwhile, our Terran player has 2 siege tanks out right now with a army of, it looks like 12 Marines and a single Marauder thrown in there just to top it all off. What kind of upgrades do they have? No upgrades quite yet for our Terran player's army. He is getting a starport, probably going to be getting medevacs out of there, I would assume. We'll have to wait to see if that is indeed what he's doing. IdrA, on the other hand, is getting upgrades galore. Melee attacks level 1, and also those Baneling speed upgrade so that he can roll up into the Terran player's army and ruin his day in one giant explosion of green, gooey goodness. As we do have weapons level 1 being researched by our Terran player, so he'll actually start getting those upgrades now, able to afford them, and he has these 3 Hellions still alive, so these Hellions are being very useful. Scanning to take out a couple of creep tumors, trying to prevent that creep threat from getting out of hand. Always want to be able to do that, because if creep gets out of hand and reaches your base, then you know you are in trouble. As we actually have an Overlord pooping creep over here, probably setting up for taking that 3rd base just so that creep will be connected between his bases, as we have this siege tank just raining down bombs and a Spinecrawler that will force that spine to unburrow and move away. It did get hit a couple of times, but didn't lose its life, so not too bad right there, as IdrA is taking a 3rd base, and at the same time, deadama is taking his 3rd base as well. Those are almost exactly the same time.